Hello everybody, this is Simon with Let's Play Mega Man Quantum. Our first opponent is going to be Toadman. As the color scheme tells you. I've opted to color in the Robot Master sprites as they are in the original, at least with one color. The stage, again, following the NES original, I will keep cutscenes in black and white because they just look far nicer that way. Toadman's stage is back to its old tricks, with the rain pushing you backwards in the beginning as usual. As you can see, the physics are unchanged, though we do now have a little splash effect when sliding compared to the NES, which didn't have it, which is very nice. This water also pushes us back, as usual, and affects the jump height here. Also very well defined pushback effect, none here, but definitely one out in the rain. I do like that the first two screens just introduce the gimmick, no enemies to speak of and no pits or danger. Do you see that? The Buster now has a little pushback effect, which is at both times more relevant than you'd think and less relevant than you think. Most of the time it actually does not matter too much, it just pushes you back a little. But there are pretty tricky jumping passages where you actually want to hold off charging in order to not fuck with your jumps. It is a judgment call which works very well in my opinion to balance the whole affair. It is not like in Mega Man 5 where you could just bust everything to death. Little surprise here, though with the ladder it is fine in my book. And overall though, I do think that this is one of the best busters in the series for that. We just picked up a large P-chip. We now have 12 because the large one is worth 8 and the small ones is worth 1 each. Now things are getting serious with enemies actually hassling us, though this guy here was kind of suicidal. The one thing that this stage has going for it in comparison to the NES one, or rather not going for it, is the complete lack of challenge here, because the enemies are not actually working together to hinder you. The big problem here is the snail, of course, though in this case you can make him throw the bombs down into the pit. I'm still really bad at avoiding the eyes, even though I try to lure them out this time. However, as I said, making him throw the bombs down the pit works in your favor because you avoid the explosion. This letter is teasing us, but we can get it easily after we get this extra health pellet that is hidden. This stage loves hidden things, by the way. There is one more later on, not so much in other stages. Was making the wind do my work for me now. This nasty situation can easily be avoided by just holding right. It always works. I don't know if there is anything hidden down here. It seems like a prime spot, but I've never been hurting for anything at this point, so find it out for yourself. This is an interesting thing here because you can easily farm these, obviously, because they really quickly respawn. I never farm in these games, so I don't know how efficient it really is, however. The next part is kind of awkward because you have to let this mouse jump over and then back again, otherwise he will knock you down the ladder, which is unfun. And also this one here is easier, so I do think their positions should have been swapped to make a logical progression. Say hello to the only rooms in the game with water. Strangely enough, also unfortunately enough, because the Buster knockback really shows here. You see? If I fire it up underwater, then you will actually jump. This can trip you up majorly because a shot comes out higher than you'd think. That means you can easily get hit by things you would rather kill, obviously. It is really interesting and we're not ever going to see it again, sadly enough. Did you notice these things glowing down here? There is actually a large health pellet and an E-tank hidden for you. Pretty sneaky and not something the game often does. I do like that they added an extra block here in comparison to the similar room at the start, because there is no ladder anymore from which you can safely see the spikes. Also, the little niche at the top showed you that you might want to hold right, so this extra life is really easily gettable and not at all bullshitly hidden. I like that. It really telegraphs a lot and the in-level tutorializing in this game is fantastic. And, well, fortunately enough this was not a death situation, though I do like the fake out here. Mega Man Quantum is full of little touches like that. A really neatly put together game, in case I haven't stressed that enough by now. If you charge up and immediately let fire, Toadman will still be able to get out his Rain Flush, so you're far better off shooting him just quickly. That the Rain Flush is taking so long to deploy is actually a thing working in your favor, because you do not get hit by it now, twice that is, but enemies will be. As you can see, Toadman himself is still really easy to defeat, and you can charge up fully before hitting him, so his little health bar melts in no time. He is definitely an intro boss with a very easy stage and 2 very substantial rewards. Do like how they show off the weapons here. It was a little in Mega Man 6, but it's far more elaborate here, and Quintum is going to expand on that even more, but that's for the next game, of course. Also, we got Rush Coil here. Again, it shows it off rather nicely with a very nice still frame. All the parts are in place, and we're going to put it to good use again, as this will lead us to lots of goodies later on. This stage is definitely there to be taken early. We can, after each stage, go to the lab, which is kind of pointless because Select does it too for us, but anyway. This was Simon, and thank you very much for your attention.